Hello peoples, Digital Mouse here. I purchased two Steamdeck OLEDs and I'm convinced that Valve truly listens to its customers. Let me explain. When the Steamdeck OLEDs went on sale, I immediately went online. One of the first things I noticed was that Valve was lowering the prices and phasing out its 64GB and 512GB models. I quickly turned my attention to purchasing a limited edition OLED model. I was a little frustrated I wasn't able to order it right away. But after several tries, I was able to order both a 1TB model and a limited edition. Completely on purpose, of course. My units came a few days after release, and one day after the other. We'll start by unboxing the limited edition model. When you open the box, you'll find the Steam Deck and Power Brick in two separate packages. Let's open the Power Brick first. The Steam Deck OLED comes with a 45-watt power supply. It's USB Type-C, and the Power Brick now features the Steam Deck logo, as opposed to the old Power Brick, which was blank. Valve must have been listening to their customers because they increased the cable length to 2.5 meters long, as opposed to the cable length of the old Steam Deck, which was 1.5 meters. Speaking of power, Valve improved the battery capacity from 40 watt-hours to 50 watt-hours. They say the battery has faster charging and can go from 20% to 80% in 45 minutes. The Steam Deck case comes with a small bag which is just big enough to fit the Power Brick and its cable. Once inside the bag, you can store the Power Brick in a small cutout at the bottom of the Steam Deck case. It's these little things that Valve builds into their products that really makes them stand apart from their competitors. Back to the unboxing. The Steam Deck Limited comes with a transparent shell. Again, Valve must have been listening to their customers. Aftermarket companies have been selling transparent shells for the Steam Deck for quite a while. Many are difficult and time-consuming to install. But the transparent shell that comes with the Steam Deck Limited looks fantastic. It's tinted a dark color, which makes the transparency a little bit more subtle. The power button, controllers, top vent, screws, and rear vent are painted in orange, which is a nice contrast to the dark tint. The interior of the limited edition case consists of a soft fabric with a Steam Deck parts graphic. Steam Deck was definitely listening to their customers, because the interior of the case is removable and reveals a smaller case, which is lighter and more convenient to carry around. I found this made the Steam Deck easier to carry in my backpack, along with my 15-inch MacBook Air. You'll get the exact same experience unboxing the standard 1TB OLED. The standard 1TB OLED won't have the transparent cover or the orange accents, and the interior of the case won't have the printed graphic. Starting up the Steam Deck couldn't be simpler. Unlike the ROG Ally or Legion Go, you won't have to install any other company's operating system. SteamOS is a Linux distro modified and optimized specifically to run on Valve's hardware. Select your language, time zone, connect to the internet, and Steam Deck will start installing. Now, full disclosure, this may take a while, but at least you won't have to install another company's software and updates before you install software related to gaming. Once Steam is finished installing, you'll log in, go through a short tutorial, then you can begin downloading your games. It's that simple. But here's the thing. You don't have to go through the download and install process if you have an older model Steam Deck. This is my 64GB Steam Deck. I upgraded it with a 2TB SSD from Sabrent and downloaded all of my games. Instead of downloading my games again onto my 1TB model, I decided to switch the SSDs. You'll have to have the latest version of the OS in order to do this, which at the time for me was a beta version. However, Valve makes it very easy for you to participate in its beta program. Go to System, Beta Participation, System Update Channel, then Beta. You'll have to restart the Steam Deck, but that's all there is to it. You'll be ready to switch the SSDs. Keep in mind that with the older Steam Deck, you used a Phillips screwdriver to remove the back screws. With the Steam Deck OLED, you'll need a T6 Torx head. Remove the backplate, remove the shield covering the SSD, then remove the SSD itself. You'll do the same thing for the Steam Deck OLED. You should disconnect the battery before you remove the SSD. Then just place the old SSD into the new Steam Deck OLED. I powered it back on, and it worked. I had to install a firmware update, but I didn't have to download all of my games all over again. I also tested if I could swap SD cards between two Steam Decks. For this, I used a Samsung 512GB Pro Plus. I installed it into my original Steam Deck LCD. I went through the process of formatting it, then I downloaded God of War and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I removed the SD card from my older Steam Deck LCD and installed it into my new Steam Deck OLED. My Steam Deck OLED recognized the SD card and the two games that were on it. I was able to play both God of War and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles immediately without having to download them over again. I also tried this with my Steamdeck OLED Limited Edition, and I got the same result. The Steamdeck Limited also recognized the SD card, and I was able to play games on my Steamdeck Limited that I downloaded from my older Steamdeck LCD. Speaking of downloads, Valve says the Steamdeck OLED has a more advanced tri-band Wi-Fi 6E radio. The original LCD Steam Deck has a dual-band Wi-Fi 6 radio. I wanted to see if there would be any difference in download time. I purchased the game Into the Breach and opened it in the libraries of the Steam Deck OLED and LCD. I downloaded the game onto both devices. The game only required 530.26 megabytes, so it wouldn't take that long. I gave the Steam Deck LCD an advantage by starting its download first. Here's what happened. Although I started the download on the Steam Deck LCD first, the Steam Deck OLED completed its download quicker. I tested the Steam Deck OLED and LCD download speeds for other games, and I found the Steam Deck OLED to be consistently faster for all of them. Irregardless if you purchase the limited edition Steam Deck or the standard 1TB Steam Deck OLED, you're getting a really great screen. It's a definite improvement over the old Steam Deck. The resolution hasn't changed. It's still 1280 by 800. The OLED screen is slightly larger at 7.4-inch diagonal compared to the LCD screen, which is 7-inch diagonal. The OLED screen can reach a maximum brightness of 1000 nits peak brightness HDR and 600 nits SDR. On the other hand, the LCD screen can only reach a brightness level of 400 nits. Valve says its 1TB and limited edition OLED displays have a premium anti-glare etched glass. I decided to take it outside and see how much anti-glare it provides. It was okay at full brightness. Here I am playing the same game on the original Steam Deck LCD. Again, this is at full brightness. I'm going to put those side by side for you so you can kind of tell the difference. As you can see, the etched glass did reduce the glare and reflection from the OLED screen, although the color didn't seem as vibrant on the OLED, and you could probably achieve the same result with an anti-glare screen protector. Also, full disclosure, I don't normally use the Steam Deck in bright sunlight like this. By the way, those black bars across the OLED screen were because of my iPhone camera. The black bars also showed up when I shot the screen of my Apple Watch. You won't see them on the actual Steam Deck itself. Let's talk about performance for a minute. The Steam Deck OLED has a custom 6nm AMD APU, and its CPU is a Zen 2, which supports 2.4 to 3.5 GHz. It comes with 16 GB of LPDDR5 onboard RAM. The Steam Deck OLED has a refresh rate of up to 90 Hz. It also has a color gamut of 110% P3 and a 0.1 millisecond response time. The Steam Deck LCD has a 7nm AMD APU. Its CPU is also a Zen 2 that supports 2.4 to 3.5 GHz, and it also comes with 16 GB of LPDDR5 onboard RAM. The LCD Steam Deck has a refresh rate of up to 60 Hz. The two devices have similar specs, so you would expect them to perform the same, right? Well, yes, and they did, but not at first. Let me explain. For a game like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, I never saw any difference in performance. It played well on both the older LCD model and the newer OLED right from the start. However, when I first started playing God of War on the older Steam Deck LCD, it would start playing fine, slow down, then eventually stop. But it wasn't just God of War. I had similar experiences with Apex Legends, although here it wasn't that bad. There'd be periods during the game when my character would move very slowly and then stop, but then it would pick back up again. Now remember, this happened when I first started playing those games, and I want to stress this because after a couple of days, for some reason, the games just seemed to work just fine. I was able to play both God of War and Apex Legends on the older Steam Deck LCD without them stopping at all, not even slowing. And with the Steam Deck OLED, I was able to play God of War and Apex Legends using the default settings just fine. While playing with the Steam Deck OLED, I never had any of the stuttering or slowing that I experienced while playing with the Steam Deck LCD. It just played each game I threw at it beautifully. All of this makes me think that Valve was truly listening to their stakeholders. They didn't have to make these changes. They didn't have to make the Steam Deck all that much better, but they did, and they came out with a fantastically improved product. Perhaps other companies should listen to the Steam Deck's success.